What are some of the skills that dads are needing that they may not even realize?
So a couple of things are probably, really stand out for me. The one is to not take things personally.
Mm,
We men have a big ego often. I'll just admit it. Maybe other men don't. Um, so we often take things personally, and whether it's from our spouse or if it's from the child, but like a 3-year-old is not trying to ruin your life. Like they're just not.
yeah.
They're trying to just understand what the heck is going on right now. It may feel like they're trying to ruin your life, but they're not. And so even whether it's talking back, whether it's just defiance, it's whether it's like not listening, it doesn't matter. They just don't know what to do, and they're learning. And so one of the biggest things is just not taking that personal and really taking the step back and be like, okay, this is a toddler. They have no idea what they're talking about. They have no idea what they're doing. Let me use that reference,
Brains like
Yeah,
completely undeveloped here. Like,
totally. Yeah, we're using a 30 to 50-year-old brain, whatever your age. It's like we're using our brains that's fully developed into this little thing that has no idea. So that's a big one. It's just not taking it personally. The other is what I said before about probably the biggest change for me in parenting and in my relationship is empathy. And I think men in general aren't very empathetic. We don't often put ourselves in the place of our spouse or our children. And so I teach this a lot. And it's basically like, if your 3-year-old is crying, you put yourself in the place of the 3-year-old. Instead of looking at it from your grown man perspective, you're looking at it and going, wow, you know what? If I was 3 years old and I was tired, I'd probably want a cookie too, and would probably complain also. And when you're empathetic, your response totally changes. You're like, oh, okay, you know what? Let me try this. Or, you're typically softer, you're typically more understanding, and that's what the child often needs, is like for you to just understand this is scary, or this is crazy, or I don't like this, or this is not my routine, or whatever it is. And so empathy has been a game changer for me. I mean, like I was in a self-development class years ago, and we started talking about empathy, and I'm like, I can't believe that I've like missed out on this whole thing. Like this would have saved me years of discussions with my wife, of arguments and such. And then with the little toddler, same thing. Like, wow, they're struggling right now. Like they're trying to communicate, or they're upset, or like this has nothing to do with me. It's not my, they're not trying to piss me off. And then 2, this thing doesn't really know. So those are,
yeah.
those are really big ones. And then the other, which is kind of related to all of them, is patience. I mean, just, practice your patience. And I, by nature, was not a patient guy. I'm just not. Like I move fast, talk fast, do things fast. Like everything is fast. So patience was not my best quality. And as much as I meditate and as much as I try to slow things down, I had to learn patience. And my wife is tremendously more patient than I am. And so just looking at how she does some things, the cues that she takes, and me slowing down, I've just had to learn to be more patient with my children. And as a result, that's helped me. I'm not in such a hurry to do X, Y, Z, or, why didn't they, I just told them 3 minutes ago to do this. Why hasn't it been done? Like literally those kinds of things would come out of my mouth. And
I'm so with you, Jason, because
yeah,
I'm that person in my relationship with my husband. I'm that person. I have to check myself. Like, all right, my kids are not robots. Like, I have to allow them some time. But it's like,
no. And a story I tell is I had learned this like idea and like practicing this patience. And I was with my son at the time, and he was probably 2 or something, in the bath. And I said, okay, get out. And he didn't get out. And I had learned about the patience stuff. And he said, just wait a little bit longer. And I said, and normally I would have said, get out now. Like we need to, after a couple times. So I just sat there. And literally 10 seconds later, he got up and was ready to get out. And I said, so he heard me. Like, he totally heard me. He knew he needs to get out of the bath. And granted, sometimes that doesn't work, but we've done the same routine every time. And he knew it was just that I wasn't patient enough. And so I lose my patience too quickly. And so I just now wait longer to lose my patience.
Catch new episodes of the Mindful Mama podcast and other free resources, including the Mindful Mom Guide at mindfulmamamentor.com. You can listen to every back catalog episode, including interviews with Dr. Dan Siegel, Iyanla Vanzant, Sharon Salzberg, and get meditations, join our private Facebook group, and more. Go to mindfulmamamentor.com now. I'll see you there.